Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives you?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gold Jacket, Green Jacket podcast. We're here for episode number 60. My name is Christian Dragonetti. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and Australian PJ professional, Mr. Joel Mitchell. Jolie, mate, how are you?
You know what? I reckon it's a guessing game every week with what number you're going to say because I can't keep up either.
I might throw a spanner in the works next week.
Don't, because you're going to say 66 and I'm like, how long was I asleep? Like, so it's going to fuck me. But otherwise, happy days.
Yeah.
We're right in the midst of some very, very interesting weeks and golfing events, and we've still got more to come. So
this is the come down week, I suppose, before the next round of.
Well, as you're hearing this is the most cruisy week. I don't know about you, but that I've got.
Yeah.
For the next three as well, and then that's when I can go. I can just breathe.
Correct.
And then I'm good. But otherwise, happy days.
Very good. My shutdown period at work is finished. I was back at work today for the first day, and look, feeling it a little bit. The last 3 or 4 days. 5 days really walking around golf courses hasn't helped either.
Yeah.
But you said it's Monday, the 31st of March, and ladies and gentlemen, the chef has been cooking. Minwoo Lee is a PGA Tour champion.
He is.
How fucking good.
I was stoked with seeing him at the top and beating some of the names that were sitting top 3, top 4, and not only was he winning or leading by 2 or 3 at one stage, he's making birdies to get away from them as well.
Correct.
It's veteran shit.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's someone that's been out there for 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
It was very, very professional of him in that sense.
It was. It really was. And even that final round, I only watched the back 9 from yesterday. That's the only thing I watched. I only watched the last 9. That's all I watched. But even some of the commentators saying, like, him hitting it just to 20 feet pin high. That's all he did. Just making pars. And the odd birdie, and he made that one. He put it in the piss at one stage and made that little blunder, but composed himself and won. He won.
The tour stat for the longest time has always been that, like, Tiger Woods has only lost 1 or 2, maybe half a dozen tournaments at most where he's had a 54-hole lead. And the reason, 2, there you go. And the reason is he does exactly that. He hits it middle fairway, he hits it middle green, he 2-putts, he either makes 4, 3 or 5.
Correct.
And that's it when he needs to.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
He's not going out there trying to cut corners and hit rope draws and, put on a show.
Yeah.
He's there.
If someone's sniffing at his ass a little bit or snapping at his heels, he makes a birdie, gets away from him. See ya. He did exactly that 29 Masters. He birdied like 3 out of his last 5 or something.
But only doing the exact same thing. He sticks to the process, knowing that a 3 here is a shot on the field.
Yeah, correct.
A 4 here is a shot on the field.
Yeah.
They're going to be chasing, so they have to go for it, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's what Woozy was doing today. I went and watched the whole round this morning, and he hit some unbelievable golf shots for the conditions that he was in. And by conditions, I mean, leading by 4 at times and 3, down the stretch.
Yeah.
He almost threw it away.
Yeah. He took his medicine, I think it was. I don't think he... Yes, it's a nerve-wracking position to be in. I'm sure it is, and especially on that sort of stage against the best players in the world. I get it. Like, you've got the number 1 and 2 player on the planet trying to hunt you down, right?
Correct.
So it's going to be nerve-wracking. He's got the game to do it, but and I'm not saying he almost threw it away. Yeah, that's one way to put it, but it was more or less
he almost opened the door a little bit.
He made a mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple.
Yeah.
But you're human for one.
Correct.
And you're ahead of a very, very, very strong pack.
For the first time in your career.
For the first time on the PGA Tour.
On the PGA Tour.
On the PGA. Like, he's won 4 times on the DP, twice on the Aussie circuit, once on the Asian circuit. Like, he knows how to win.
Correct.
And he's won before. But on that...
The biggest stage.
On the biggest stage.
Shy of the majors.
Correct.
Heading into Augusta as well.
Yes, that's what I'm excited about. I just hope he uses that, runs with it, and hopefully he produces a good week. And look, a win is a bonus, of course, but I just want to see him in that the first
before the page turns over.
I just want to see him in the first 8 names. I want to see all the Aussies there.
I want to see 2 Aussie flags in the top 5.
I want to see him all there. I'd love to see him all there, but
we've made it perfectly clear in the past, ladies and gents, that we aren't going to cover the tour. Right? This is as far as it'll go. However, one thing I have promised myself, I've promised you, and I've promised listeners that have asked us about it, we will cover Aussie success.
Correct.
I do not care what anyone says. If you want to hear about it or not,
absolutely,
we're excited for Aussie golf. And this bloke in particular has been at the forefront of our minds for the longest time. He's been the next big thing in terms of Aussie golf, right? And now he's won. He's had a
bang.
win. right?
Gold. We had some great success from a couple of Aussies. Carl Phillips. He's the same age as me.
Yeah, correct.
Like I played early days junior stuff with him.
Yeah.
Like not with him, but against him and around him. And you know when his dad was filming,
And it's a
some
little
events.
bit upsetting on our part that we didn't cover that in
I
more
wish
detail.
we did. I wish we did
should've.
because it was awesome because he won the Puerto Rico Open. It was like one of his first starts.
Correct. Unfortunately, that week was the second PGA Tour event on that weekend.
Yeah.
There was another PGA Tour event on.
But doesn't matter. Win's a win.
It doesn't matter. Win's a win.
Win's a win.
So congratulations to both Minwoo and to Carl for
Absolutely.
getting the dubs.
Absolutely. It's
A
just
couple of
it's
good
exciting.
showings as well from some Aussies as well. It
exciting.
was really, really solid.
exciting.
The one thing I'm going to mention before we move any further, that par 5, 15, I think it was, where he did hit it in the tree. One of the commentators made a very good point. He goes, this is where your caddy comes into play. Because I don't know who Minwoo's caddy is.
I'm not sure. Either.
Right, but he was an older gentleman. I'm not sure I'm not sure if this person is even his caddy full time. It might have just been for the week.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Right, but the conversations they were having, Minwoo was like getting on his knees and doing practice swing, seeing if that was an option, because the ball was firmly under a tree and it was gettable. Right, anybody in their Saturday comp, if they're 5 points behind their handicap at the time, probably has a crack at it. Right. But when you're leading a PGA Tour event, you'd never. And one of the commentators made a great point and said, "This is where your caddies make their money, right?" Because the conversation was, "I love the idea of you having a crack at it, but not now,
Not now, right? Yeah.
not now, because you could toe shank it and it goes further into the bush."
I
and
did
you're
see
fucked.
that where it had the video of him actually doing it, and it had the quote from the caddy going, "I just don't think that's the shot."
Correct.
So I mean, from an outside perspective, like I've always been like when you're in that position, especially as playing on that sort of stage, you are in a very aggressive mindset. You are in a you're running hot. You're walking quick. Your mind's not scrambled.
Correct.
His wasn't because he won the fucking event, right? But your mind's not scrambled. But you're thinking in a different pattern. You're thinking. Your tunnel vision. It's one way or another. It's like he goes if he's going to have any chance to get this club to go further down, as far down as possible, he's going to try and do it.
Correct.
As simple as that, right? But like you said, yeah, the caddy comes into play, going, hang on, whoa, let's take one step back and just analyze. Because like you said, if he puts his further into the shit, well, there's another 2 shots that comes out of this, and all of a sudden he's 2 back, like or might lose him in the event.
And I think what I was just mentioning before about Tiger getting a shot on the field and just catching one up here and there and everywhere. Sometimes, and I've seen it with you at times. Last week talking about it at Heritage, where you hit that rope hook and then the one that came out hot. You're still trying to catch one up on the field. It's a par 5. You're thinking make 4.
I'm still making birdie. Yeah,
100%.
I still want to make birdie.
And sometimes that can come into the detriment of the player.
Absolutely.
Because you're all of a sudden starting to think it's birdie or bust.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas in that scenario that Woozy was in today, his caddy's turned around and gone, mate, it's par 5. Right? For lack of a better term, just fucking get it back in play.
Make par.
Take a two club penalty here, or take a shot penalty unplayable, get your 2 clubs relief, fucking hit an iron down there, give yourself 85 in, hit a wedge shot close, make your putt. There's 5. You walk away unscathed. You never even think about it tomorrow when you're holding up the cup, right? Drinking beers out of it. You never even think of it. So credit to him for convincing. I reckon there was a fair deal of convincing. I like to believe that Woozy would have had the idea of he's right and I'm going to go with him all along. This is stupid.
That's where caddies make their money. They're supposed to be there to be the outside perspective. I've been in the position where maybe during a tournament or a pennant match or something of significance, even if my old boy's on the bag or Raptor or something like that. Right? What?
Does your dad listen?
What?
Does your dad listen to the podcast?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. So caddies are there to keep you focused.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Keep you aligned.
Yeah.
Not to crash MGIs.
No.
We'll get to that later on in the day, in the episode, ladies and gents. But Blair, if you're listening, I still think you need to be breathalyzed for that incident at the National the other day on 6.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, but no, you are 100% correct though. We're getting back on track. It's the caddy's there to keep you focused, keep you tunnel visioned in a sense to achieve the goal.
I've had many instances where either Luke's been on the bag for Q School or Raptor's been on the bag for 4-day events or pro-ams or whatever it may be, and Dad's been on the bag for now a tour event and pennant matches and stuff like that. And there has been instances where I'm either having a rough 4-hole stretch where I'm not digging a hole, but I'm sort of getting down a bit and trying to lift myself back up, and then the composure comes from their end, or I'm on a high where I've birdied 4 in a row, and I'm marching down the fairway looking for that next birdie, and they go, whoa, keep the momentum, but let's keep the mind clear, and that's where they come in. Like Luke was amazing with that. Like Luke, I noticed the most was the best with that because he's been in those situations. For one, Raptor's amazing with it, and so's my old man because they know me so well. But yeah, Luke was amazing with that, going like literally keep it simple, stupid. Like I'm standing over a shot, going, I want to work it off this, and he goes, whoa. He goes, the wind's off the right. Just hit it there. Just hit it. Just in that general direction.
Yeah.
He goes, the wind will do the rest. Just hit a shot. And I'm trying to work it in with a lower fucking flight of draw and get it spinning left up the hill. And he's like, whoa. Just hit it to 20 feet. If you hold apart, you hold apart. Like you keep, like it was all, that sort of stuff. And Raptor's good with that as well. And the old boy's great with that. Like all he does is what I love the most. Didn't actually notice it until he actually pointed it out.
Yeah.
Every single shot, except for putting, but every single shot before I go to step up to the ball, he says like commit.
Yeah.
That's all he says.
I noticed it the other day.
All he says, commit.
Yeah.
And I don't actually really hear it.
No.
But it's still an unconscious thing that my body goes,
oh, commit.
Trust whatever shot you're going to hit. Just commit.
Yeah.
And it's such a simple thing. I didn't even notice it until he pointed it out after the round.
I noticed it because I came and watched you play at the Nash on
but
Friday.
It helps. But it
helps 100%.
It helps so much.
I came and watched you play, like I said, and it stuck out to me within the first, because I caught up with you guys. You'd already teed off and you were on 14, teeing off 10. You teed off on 10 and I caught you up at 14. And with the first 3 shots, because you went driver, iron, putt, birdie, made birdie on 14.
Yeah.
Right? Each 3 times he said commit, I'm like, he says it every time, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I was just sort of hovering, keeping my distance as well and hovering around, but every time I
it's
could just
every
hear
shot.
it.
It's just his way. Well, after he explained it, he goes, it's just his way to keep the mind settled, and whatever shot that I've got in mind or that we've spoken about is the right shot. So just hit it.
Yep.
Just hit it.
That's it.
Commit. And it's such a simple thing, but fuck, it helps so much.
And it pays dividends, as we've seen today with Ruzi. So
it does.
Congratulations to the boys as well. You know, great Aussie showing as well as it is in the Houston Open. Major season's around the corner. We're going to get stuck into that with bonus episodes as they come.
Correct.
But getting back on schedule.
Yes.
Recent rounds. Now, today being Monday, yesterday, if you had been following our socials, so Sunday, the 30th, was our golf day in association with Chasing Birdies. Now, first and foremost, I want to thank Mark and Chasing Birdies for getting us involved in the day.
Yeah.
We've sent countless text messages back and forth over the last sort of 24, 48 hours.
It actually is countless. I can't count that up.
Just sort of, you know, talking about the day and how well it went, because it did go really, really well.
It was awesome.
We had a great turnout. I think we had 27 players. Would have been 28, but one of the boys had to pull out, unfortunately, last minute with about a gastro, unfortunately.
Yep.
So that was upsetting. But no, look, we had a great turnout, like I said. The course was okay. It was good. It was good fun to play in. Good to meet a few boys. We played with the boys from Flatstick.
Did.
And they were awesome to get along with. We just had a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And the question is probably on everybody's lips. Well, how'd you go?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It was a 2-person Ambrose. Joel and I teamed up.
Yeah.
Which probably gives away a little bit of to what's happened at the Nash during the week, which we'll get into a bit later on.
Bit of a foreshadow.
Bit of a foreshadow. But no, Jolie and I played together, and we had 6 under the card, playing off a handicap of 0, by the way. No shots.
No.
I think the highest handicap might have been 9 for the day. So it was pretty even. We had 6 under the card with a double bogey and 2 bogeys, which I'm still upset at that double.
You reckon?
I'm fucking fuming.
You reckon?
Right?
I've seen you get. I'm going to say shitty. I've seen you get pretty shitty and upset with more yourself, if anything. But there was like at one stage, I'm like, whoa, he's generally like.
Yeah, and I'll explain. It was, what hole was it? Fifth.
It was 4.
4. It's a par 4.
It was our 14th.
14th hole, because we set off on 10.
Or whatever it was. 13th hole. Yeah, something like that.
It's a par 4. The green is sort of hidden off to the left-hand corner behind a mound.
Dogleg left.
And the wind was howling.
Off the left.
Howling,
It did get up at that day,
right?
didn't it?
It was horrible.
Yeah.
And I've decided I'm going to try and hit a little low driver. And I was hitting fades all day long. And I'm like, the wind's just going to push this right. I'll let it happen.
Yeah.
Kept it low, executed it fine, but the ball was pretty much fucked anyway in the trees. Joel steps up, hits driver, and goes, I'm going to hang this out on the other fairway and the wind should push it back if I hit a cut.
Yeah.
It just didn't cut.
Nah, it just didn't cut.
And it stayed dead straight.
I actually hit a good shot.
And
It's just
so-
in relation to what I needed to hit wasn't
Being
quite-
Ambrose, we had a choice to make,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and we
yeah.
decided to take your ball without even knowing where my ball was. And this is why I got so shitty, right? Because where Joel was looking to finish his ball, worst case scenario, was in a little bit of a gap between two trees that had a clear line to the green.
Yeah.
You missed it by 15 meters long.
Unfortunately, I hit it too far.
You hit it too good.
Which I didn't think was possible. Because
Absolutely not.
I saw because for anyone that knows Yarrambat, but anyway, as we're walking down 3, I actually turned around knowing this, going, we're going to go through the fairway here unless you hit the most perfect draw into the wind. Right?
Yeah.
And it's not possible with the way the drive sets up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to hit it up here. And I had a rough idea of where the tee box was and how far I was going to go. And so I saw this pretty big gap and I'm like, if I can hit it here, this is red hot.
Yeah.
We're golden here. Doesn't matter what
I wish you had told me this before I hit my ball.
Yeah,
Because if you had hit that first and gone, I think it's pretty good, I would have grabbed the 2-iron and just bunted one down the fairway.
Yeah. And
Just in case.
yeah, and unfortunately, we're stuck behind the biggest freaking tree
Yeah.
that was on that hole.
And so
But
Joel's
anyway.
turned around and gone, I'm going high. And I'm like, right, you go high, I'll go low because I can't go high. It's not in my repertoire.
Yeah.
You got super unlucky, clipped the top branch and dropped straight down and literally was behind the tree.
I actually thought I hit a good shot.
You hit a great shot. It was just super unlucky.
yeah.
And then I've gone to like try and keep one low and stuff and just completely duffed it, gone 4 fucking meters and just horrible, right? We then proceed to do pretty much the same thing again twice. Right?
Yeah, well,
and then
you
make
think
double
yours
work.
too high. I've hit what I thought was perfect chip shot, jumps up onto the green and just kept going. And I'm like, oh God. And then we missed the 4-footers coming back.
Correct.
Oh my
So
God.
it was just a calamity of errors on our part. But then as we're walking to 5, the par 3, I see what was eventually my tee shot from the hole on a perfect, nice green patch of grass in the trees, all granted, but with a clear line to the
possibly
the perfect window.
Possibly the best wedge shot you could have on that hole without being on the fairway.
Correct.
And we saw that. I'm like, I saw it. I looked at the guy we're playing with and he goes, I think that's his. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And I looked at him going, oh no. And then you went over and saw it was your ball and you
I
just
was
went.
fuming.
You
I was fuming. Right? For the sheer reason that I know that we're coming in here today and I've got to fucking tell everyone about it. Right? Because for every bloke that wasn't there, there's 2 blokes that were. Right? You know what I mean? So they're going to put in the comments and be like, hey, so what happened on fucking 4? Yeah. Like, do you want to talk about it or nah? Right? Anyway, beside the point, we made a couple of sloppy bogeys either side.
It probably didn't help that I was laughing the whole time.
You were laughing and I was ready to throw something at you. I'm like, this bloke really plays off how much and or how little.
Just having
And
fun.
we were just having fun in the end. And it was a great fun day. Shout out to all the winners for the nearest to pins
Some
and
of the prizes were awesome.
There was a H wedge,
Yep.
a H golf wedge up for grabs on a par 3 for a closest to pin, which is awesome. I think it's the biggest prize Mark's given away for an MTP, which was really cool. Moondog came in clutch with some really good prizes, as did Flatstick as well. They were those little bundles that Flatstick gave out were
the first
awesome.
prize winners had this brown, just a brown bag, right?
Brown paper
like
bag.
a brown Uber Eats bag.
Yeah.
But it had the tinsel shit in it that you get from presents.
Yeah.
And it had like alignment stick cover. It had driver. It had 3-wood. It had putter. It had hybrid. It had
3
It had
or
a mallet
4.
putter head cover. It had a blade putter head cover. All personalized with customized with the
Different
all the
designs.
plastic logos and the different designs. It looked like a show bag. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I looked at Mark. He goes, oh, what do you reckon? I'm like, that's first prize, dude. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And I just put it first prize straight away.
100%.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
So shout out to the guys
awesome.
at Flatstick. They were awesome to play with as well. But
Yes.
like
A lot of
the
fun.
stuff is really cool.
It is good.
Really cool.
is
So if you're interested in some custom head covers aside from our own,
Yeah.
head over and give them a look.
Correct.
Speaking of, you can still hit me up for head covers if you're interested in our logo.
Yeah.
But just a fun day.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Just a fun day to get involved in. I'm so keen for the next one, whenever it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mark will hit me up after listening to this on Friday and goes, yeah, so when do you want to do it? But I'm free in April, and I'm like, I think we might give it a couple of months.
Yeah,
and maybe
give it a few. Let it build up again.
If you were to ask me how I would do it next, and this is no slight on anybody, but I would want to do it months in advance when the weather's a bit warmer, right? We'll go to a golf course that everyone can thoroughly enjoy, something that might be a little bit out of, other like certain players, expectations. Reach maybe is a good word.
Yeah.
So ideally, maybe not a public deck.
Yeah.
Public access, but not quite public.
Yeah.
And that's again no slight. It's just that I'd want a sick golfing experience.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. That's the hardest part is accessibility.
Correct.
Like you getting, like I said, you're getting play. Not like I said, but you're getting as good on Mark to just get a golf course. Cool.
Yes.
Cement a golf course, bang, you're in.
Yeah.
And now let's build the event.
Correct.
Right. And then that's the hardest part. Like if you could get onto a private golf club somehow, it's just gonna be more expensive. That's all it is. Like
and
you'd
it might even be a thing where we could look at possibly doing it at either Heidelberg or Rosanna.
If we can get some numbers up and
by exclusivity, I'm not talking about going to Royal Melbourne and going, "Oi, can we jump on the West?"
I actually explained that to Mark. I said there's actually no issue with getting on to that sort of golf club, but you have to make it worth their while.
Correct.
Which means dollars.
Cash, right?
Which means dollars.
And
it's going to
so-
have to make it worth them closing
Yeah.
for the first half of the day. You have to make it worth their while.
And unfortunately, the one lesson that Mark has told me or taught me during this whole experience is that it's a balancing act, trying to make it worthwhile for the golf course whilst also not getting in their way too much, but also making it worthwhile for the players.
Not breaking the pocket.
And not breaking the budget, right? So having good prizes, there was more than $60 each worth of prizes up for grabs yesterday,
Absolutely.
right? So, good prizes, good, friendly banter, good group of boys, decent golf course. It's a recipe for a really good day, but it's also a really tough recipe. I think we did it really well yesterday, and I had a lot of fun.
It was enjoyable. Everyone was in good spirits.
We had so
Everyone
many
came
great
in
conversations with listeners that had come up and said that, giving us feedback and, telling us that they love it, which is great.
Yeah.
But it just gave me that spark just to do another one.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Because I could really get around it.
They're not hard to run, and there's obviously little things that'll be awesome to speak to Mark about to say this is how you could improve it.
Yeah.
I told him what I liked. I said this is perfect. It's very chill. You didn't overcomplicate it.
No.
You got the players in. You gave them a scorecard. You told them the format. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Go play some golf. See you when you're done.
Yeah.
Let me know what score you had, and here's your prize if you win. Like
Yep.
it's simple. It's awesome.
Simple.
Doesn't overcomplicate it. It's more probably maybe the professionalism of it. Maybe a tiny bit. I'd love to touch on a touch, but other than that,
Yeah.
it was
And
it was faultless. It was awesome.
faultless.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was
So,
great.
but no, that was great. And like I said, we're keen to do more. And we had a really good day yesterday. So really, really, really happy with how it went. I mean, it might sound like I'm exhausted in my voice. I am.
You are. You are.
I'm pretty knackered.
Yeah.
But mate, the smile hasn't been wiped off my face yet with how well that yesterday went.
It was good. It was good.
So yeah, that was our round. We had our recent round.
That was our recent round.
That was our recent round.
Yeah.
My recent round was at Heidelberg, 34 points, Stableford. Played really decently.
Good.
Like everything was solid.
Good.
Your most recent round, we'll get into.
You know what I want? You know what I actually want to touch on that actually kind of annoyed the shit out of me was how many putts you hold yesterday
Yeah.
at Yarrambat. For anyone that knows Yarrambat, it's not the easiest course to get the ball rolling well. It's very difficult to
It can
maybe read them.
The greens can be inconsistent
a little
at times.
bit, and it's tough. It's very tough this time of year because they're trying to really put some water into the greens and try and make them as playable as possible. And sometimes other parts of the course are sacrificed and not up to what we'll call standard.
Yes.
I guess because of what we experience every week.
Correct.
But, otherwise, yeah. So they're a bit softer and they're spinny and maybe a touch slower or something, whatever it may be. So it was like you're a solid putter. And you always have been. And when you're not putting well, your speed control lacks. That's the only thing. Otherwise, you get the ball started pretty well online all every time.
Yeah.
Right. But I can't believe how many. Not only the putt, like the not only the length. Like it wasn't really the length that shocked me. It was how much each putt broke and how the fuck it found the hole. Like you hold like the putt on 10, you can bugger off. It was 3 feet.
Yeah.
Because I hit it there, but.
Yeah, no, you did. What do you want to say? Like
But
you stuffed it.
you hold that
we
putt
took
on
my
12.
drive. You stuffed it to 3 feet, and I drained it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you hold the putt on 12. You hold that putt on 13.
Yeah.
We buggered up 14. Chipped it close on 15. You almost rolled that putt in on 16. It was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and 17 was all right. 18 was all right. No, 18 you hold
Your
the putt.
memory's better than mine. I can't remember any of them.
18 you hold the putt.
Yeah.
1 you hold you hold that putt on 1.
Oh my god, this putt.
This thing breaks 4 feet, and mind you said every time you lined up the ball, you said, "What do you reckon?" So I'd jump behind it, and it's like it was lined up exactly how I'd read the putt. So it was already straight away we had confidence, and I always said, "Yep, love it." Right, which probably filled your mind with confidence
100%.
as well. They're going, "Yep, this is got to be the right
Because it
line."
literally just said, all I need to do is hit it.
Yeah, hit it. Right, the 1 or 2 you smoked, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that happens.
Anyway, made up
Just
and
a
down.
misread.
You hold the 1 on 3.
Yeah.
Fucked up 4 and 5.
Yeah.
6 was close. Blah blah blah. No, I hold the 1 on 6.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, you hold the putt on 7.
Yes.
8 we missed.
Yeah, you drained it on 8 for par.
I made it. No.
Yeah, you made it on 8. Oh no, yeah, for birdie.
For birdie, because I hit it close, and then what do we do on 9?
9, you drained it for par. I missed the putt. I missed the birdie putt.
But by the sounds of it, already, if you do the maths, I hit 6 putts.
It actually 6 is actually the number.
I actually think it was 6.
6 is
I
actually
hit
the number.
6 total putts. The ball made contact with my putter 6 times, and 4 of them would have been from about that 20 to 25 foot range. Which
Yeah, 'cause
you
I've
just-
missed it.
Which you just hit and hope anyway, which
Yeah.
you missed. And
Yeah.
the rest of them were either tap-ins
Yeah.
that you put in,
Yeah.
or you're holding these 12 to 15 foot sliders,
Yeah.
which some of them, I loved the read, but how they consistently went in had me stuffed.
Yeah. So,
Like-
2 things I'll say.
was
The
just-
first thing was we're standing on the green and on 10 rather, the first hole we played. And you made the comment, "I don't want to hit any putts today."
Yeah. I actually said.
And I took
the-
that shit personally.
The I said the less I putt today, the better our score.
Right.
And
You
that's
said-
not.
and
That's
I think
not,
the number you said was 3.
That's-
you
that's
said, I only want to hit 3 putts
That's
today.
not. That's not a dig on the way I'm going to be putting. It's just like I said.
It was a
less
bit of
I have to-
motivation for us as a team to be
Yeah.
like, come on, like
the less I putt, the better we're going to score.
Correct.
Right. And if I do happen to hole a couple that you might not make,
Yeah.
Fortunate enough, you're holing everything we're looking at.
if you're just able to get the dustpan out and just clean up the scraps,
Dude.
right?
I hit a putt. I didn't hit a putt on 10. I hit that one putt on 11, just the eagle putt.
Yeah, that's 1.
And then I didn't putt till I hit that one putt on 14.
2.
We missed that.
Yep.
Didn't putt on 15. Putted on 16.
3.
We missed it, unfortunately. Didn't putt on 17. Yes, I did. So that's 4. Didn't putt on 18. 1. Hit a putt on 2. Didn't putt on 3. Putted on 4. Putted on 5. And then
So 7 putts now. We were wrong.
7. Didn't putt on 6. I did. So 8. And then didn't putt for the rest of the round. For the rest of the round,
8
I don't
putts.
think.
8 putts.
So yeah, hit 8 putts.
8 putts
maybe
total.
9. Maybe 9 if I don't know. If
Yeah.
we've forgotten one.
But still,
8 total putts. And
Which is it's a pretty big stat in a scramble. So
that's massive. But the other 10 were you holding them.
yeah.
I hold 2 of them
Yeah.
out of the 8.
So that was the first thing I was going to say is that you only wanted to hit 3 putts for the whole day. You hit 8, which is still phenomenal, right? The second thing was the putt on 1, right? And now Joel said it breaks 4 feet. It does, right? It breaks 4 feet. It broke 2 feet one way and
Yeah.
2 feet the other. It lipped out. It lipped out on the low side around the back of the hole and fell in,
And yeah, it lipped high side and then sat there and then
dropped in. So, and all mind you, while taking a couple of bobbles on the way too. So when we
it was
say
like putting on Lego.
yeah, when we say it broke 2 feet one way, it jumped 2 feet one way, and then it jumped 2 feet back, and then lipped out on the low side and or the high side.
It was one of
and
the
then
most.
fell in.
It was like that. It was like one of those mini golf holes where you're
Yeah.
putting on these. It goes like that. And
I think
then
I've made that
somehow-
putt. I think I've made that putt on Wii Sports Golf back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, it was
Do you know what I
just-
mean?
It's just bizarre. And I thought after we'd made that, we birdied 18.
Yeah.
After we made that, I'm like, we're on here with
Yeah.
this back 9. We need to go scuba.
Yeah.
Like obviously we want to win, of course, but you know we weren't.
We came
really,
tied for 4th
something like
out
that,
of
yeah,
I think what was it,
yeah.
14 groups,
don't know.
13 groups or something.
13
So
or something.
we did well.
So much fun.
So much fun, so much, and I'd love to do it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But moving back into the week.
Yep.
Thursday and Friday, as we discussed last week in the episode, you had the national
Yes, the national tournament.
tournament,
Down
which
at
is
the National.
down at the national, which is a golf course neither of us had seen up until last week. right? And it is also the last Oz Tour event of the year.
Of the season, yeah.
Of the season, correct. Congrats to Harrison Crow for getting the dub.
Great win.
Played unbelievably.
Great
was
shoot.
ahead by 3 or 4, similar to Woozy, to be honest. Ahead by 2 or 3 for
ahead by
most,
2 or 3 and
most of the
then-
final round.
Yeah, I think he won it by a couple.
And did exactly. I watched a little bit of it yesterday and did very similar things. Just hit it to the middle of the fairway, hit it to the middle of the green.
It's not even
sacrifice length for accuracy.
It's not even correct. It's not even trying to go scuba diving or shooting the 6 or 7 under in that final round. I think he shot 3 or 4, maybe. I think it was shot 4 and or maybe even 5. I think he held that putt on 17, but it was literally just professional golf. You know, it sounds obvious, sounds a bit stupid, but it was.
The term professional,
He just
people are gonna-
minimized those mistakes. He didn't have to go birdie, like all this crap. He just minimized the mistakes and pounced when he could. Like it was just good golf. It was good to watch.
The term professional is it's one that people might screw their nose up at and go, well, they're professionals. They should do that anyway.
Yeah, no.
It's not
Not in
how
that
we mean it.
circumstance.
It's professional in the sense of how they portray themselves on the golf course,
Yeah.
the way in which players attack the golf course in a different way.
There's strategy.
With a job to do.
There's strategy.
There's strategy, and it's literally a job to do.
Correct.
Right? So, like I said, Harrison Crow gets a dub.
So
does
good.
really well.
So
but
good.
moving on into
Anthony
your...
Quayle and Ryan Peake earned their 2026 DP World Tour memberships.
That's huge.
Which is unreal.
Yep.
So that's on the back of Ryan Peake winning the New Zealand Open, which was such a good week. That was unbelievable, especially because of his history. And then Anthony Quayle, he's just dominant in the Australian fields. He's just produced some unreal results.
Yep.
And so they earned their DP World Tour cards.
Absolutely.
It's so sick. So we've got even more Aussies going over there now and competing against
Isn't it great?
the best.
Isn't it great?
It's unreal.
And
Elvis is head over there now. You see even Butch, Jack Buchanan, he was I saw him at the Nash. It was awesome. It was good to see him.
Yep.
He's been competing overseas. So is Jack Carter.
Yep.
Cam Johns over there played the Singapore Classic. Like a few of them making cuts. Mick Aluzzi was down. It was awesome to see some of those
That
names.
was cool.
Jed Morgan was there. It was
Yeah.
it was awesome to see some of these massive names.
come back home for a tournament.
Well, not even come back home. It's these guys that are playing on the same stage as I am.
Yeah.
Well, I was, and
Yeah.
hopefully will be in the next season and
Yeah.
after the couple of weeks coming up. But it was just good to see him. It was
Yeah.
good to see these guys that you see on TV playing against Rory and Scotty and
some really
these lads.
cool stories
Yeah,
as well.
awesome
You mentioned Ryan Peake. Obviously, people might be aware of his story, but was in a different space.
Very different lifestyle.
Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and
Very different lifestyle.
obviously learnt from his mistakes and has now taken his golf far more seriously than he probably ever has.
And he's gone bang.
and he's rewarded
He's making
himself himself with a DP Tour card.
Unreal. So sick.
unreal. So
cool.
for you in
Anyway.
particular,
Yep.
um, Thursday was a decent day.
I'll put it this way: I was not skeptical or worried. It was down at the National. I've played the old course and the Moonar course before I played that pennant match there, which
Yeah.
was the week before, right? And which is what I explained last week. I was, like I said, I won't branch on that, but I was excited, beyond excited, because I saw how pure it is. And then I'm thinking it's going to get blowy. That's all I thought.
And
Because
did
down
it
there,
fuck.
right? However, it wasn't as blowy as they said it usually is.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so I'm checking forecasts and it said it was pretty calm. Beautiful. Great. And Thursday, teed off at 2:00, go out onto the range.
Yep.
Half a club wind. I'm like, this is golden. Right. And this is great. It's not
Yeah.
going to smash our teeth in. But I'm thinking in my head, the winner's going to have 400 under.
Yeah,
Right. Because
correct.
it's a gettable golf course when it's calm.
Yeah.
When it is calm, it is, right?
A lot of short par fours.
Couple short par fours that
If
are
the wind's blowing in
downhill.
the right direction, it is more than drivable.
Yeah. There's a couple. There's a couple that are 370 that are drivable, more than drivable if it's downwind because it's downhill. But anyway, a couple par fives that are gettable in 2, and you can make some birdies. It's awesome, right? Like I said before, I teed off, felt comfy, hitting it awesome on the range. It's great. Had a great warm up. The old boy's on the bag. He's over
the moon.
He's more excited than I am.
It's bucket list item ticked off.
He was more excited than I was, right? Anyway, so we're on the bag. We're in good spirits. I'm hitting it good.
Yep.
And then down one, absolutely pump one down one.
Yep.
Hit a 9-iron to 3 feet, make eagle on my first hole of the event.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right,
How easy's golf?
Sweet. I'm like, this is an easy game. Like
Nice.
2 up there. You know what I mean? Anyway, long story short, I was 4 under through 6, cruising, hitting the ball good. We get to, and then I finish off the front 9. We get to 10, hit a good ball down 10. And anyway, And then the wind starts getting up at about 11. It starts hunting off the left.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. I put a bad swing on. I put it down the bottom right, made bogey. Right, didn't think much of it. I was shitty because it was my first bogey of the day. But I'm not going to get greedy. You're supposed to, you know, we're all human. Wind starts getting up, so now I'm playing conservative in terms of don't want to stay aggressive and then start trying to beat the course or beat the wind.
To
try and shoot 8 or 9.
You're just trying to cruise home.
Let's just get into the house and get my first round out of the way because obviously the first round jitters are there. It made it easier because I was under par early. Otherwise, I was hitting it amazing. I was hitting it really good for that first round, and unfortunately didn't quite have the putter as warm on the back 9 and end up finished 3 under, which I'm more than happy with. I'm not taking that away from myself. It was almost one of the better rounds in the afternoon because it was so blowy on that back 9 in particular. I'm hitting 6 irons from 124 and hitting 9 irons from 185 sort of thing. Like it's just a different anyway. So happy with that, more than happy with that. I was sitting sort of top 48 or something like that at 3 under. So I'm like, cool, if I can just produce the same number tomorrow, we're good. Let's just go out, keep some consistency, and let's do it, right? Anyway, tee off 10 the next day, and it's a bit blowier. We were told it was supposed to be calm in the morning and not get blowy till 1, but it's already a club and a half wind, I'll say, in the morning, right? Which no worries at all. We're all out there. But forecast, and I was told by so many members before I even teed off, they go, "Oh, you're going to have a good run in the morning." At about midday, maybe a bit midday onwards, it's going to start picking up and it's going to really get moving. Righto? No worries. So I just trusted it, thinking they know. Of course, they knew better than I was. They're locals, right? Which it was for the first hour and a half. I was again four under through 6. I made some really good birdies. I think I birdied 10 and then birdied 12, 13, 14 or something on the trot, and that's when you came along. You saw on the 14th tee. I made a really good birdie up that hole. Then we stand on 16, and this is where it sort of caught me a little bit. 16, it's like 178 or something, and it's straight cross breeze, and it looked like the flag was like stiff. So it wasn't even like flapping. It looked like it was just there, like just stiff as. I'm like, whoa. And the pin was sideways. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, that's a bit of breeze. Maybe it's just a gust or something like that. Right? Thought I hit a great shot to 35 feet. Unfortunately, 3-putted it, took bogey. And it's not an excuse, it's a factor. I've told you this before. I was really starting to get hungry middle of that 9. And sometimes when you're hungry, especially at that sort of thing, you're trying to like keep your head level so much and try and concentrate so much. It can be, you can lose concentration. You can lose it. You can be a bit disorientated at times when you start getting hungry and you're using fuel that you're not supposed to in your body, and the hands start to get a bit light and everything sort of feels a bit disorientated, I'll say. It starts feeling a bit unordinary, right? So I 3-putted that, unfortunately, and then what actually frustrated me, which usually doesn't, was I looked up and I saw the group ahead of us still waiting on the next tee. So I knew we've got an even longer wait before I can actually go and eat something, because it was my mistake. I didn't put anything in the bag for that 9 because we ate so well for breakfast. So I'm standing on the tee. I was like a bit bummed out that I just 3-putted, but not the point. I sort of copped that on the chin. I'm bound to make a bogey. It's just the way it happened. Then I looked up and now I'm frustrated. We're waiting. Fuck. We're waiting. I'm hungry. I just made a bogey. You know what I mean? And it was that lack of concentration due to that sort of caught me off guard a little bit. I started making some weird decisions and I hit the wrong club into 18. Unfortunately, made bogey there. So all of a sudden, my hard work for the first 6, 7 holes are, still good. Yeah. But now I've dropped some very lazy shots. Yeah. And then end up getting something to eat. Made a couple.
We both
more
grabbed
mistakes.
something to eat. I was starving.
We were so hungry. Made a massive mistake on 2 with not making it up and down, and I was starting to get a little bit. Oh, come on, Joel, far out! Don't throw this away.
If I could interject,
yeah.
So obviously, I went out and watched you play on the Friday, and so I've got first-hand recollections of how things went.
Yeah.
Now, I was texting my fiance during the round, just, keeping up. And after we grabbed that sandwich, I sent her a text. I said, I've just polished off a ham, cheese, and tomato sandwich. Barely touched the sides. I want another one. Right? And she's gone, Harley, or whatever. That's fine. How's Joel going? I said, he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, couple under through 9.
But. And she go, I said, but ... And I said, and she goes, "What do you mean, but?" And I said, "Something's coming." I could just sense it, right? I didn't know if it was going to go good or bad because you're kind of at that turning point where you'd made a bogey here or there. I knew you were frustrated because you were hungry.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
that's what I put it down to.
these
It was
sandwiches,
just a factor.
these sangers that he polishes are either going to go really good or really sour, right? And then, unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with you what I said, right? 4 or 5 holes later after you made a couple more.
Yeah, I made bogey on 2, which I was very salty with.
Yeah.
The one on 4, I cop on the chin. That could have been 6 or 7 easy.
Yeah.
Easy. I got away with a lucky bounce off the tee.
Yeah.
You know, hit what I thought was an okay shot into a bunker. Mistimed the shot. I tried to play a shot that I probably shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. Almost hold the chip shot and roll in the putts. I'll take 5 on that because it's a 410 meter hole straight up the hill, straight into the wind.
Yeah.
So it's playing long anyway. I'll cop that one. The one on 2 and 16 was the ones I was salty at. The rest of them, you know, I'll cop that on the chin.
It was the bogey that got you back to even for the round.
Yeah, 4.
Right.
Yeah. That one was okay with. That
Yeah.
one I was okay with.
Right.
Yeah.
But I could see there was, from a distance, and I was starting to keep my distance at this point, I could see that you were starting to get more and more frustrated with the results of each hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I know you so well that I can tell that sometimes it's like on a knife's edge where you could either bounce back from it or this is just going to compound and it could get worse. And the text I sent Ali, my fiance, after that bogey was, and I apologize for saying this because it's true, he's crumbling.
Yeah.
He's crumbling.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not taking the piss or
No,
anything.
well,
I'm just from what I could see. From what I could see, I'm like, he was 4 under through whatever, and now he's back to even. I'm like, fuck, this does not go well from here.
4 under through. Well, that's what you'd know. That's how you'd see it. Because I was 4 under through 6, and now I'm even through 12.
Yeah.
Or 13 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for someone going to make another 3 bogeys and then completely throw themselves out of the event.
And to say that I was genuinely afraid that might happen was an understatement.
Oh, fair enough though.
Right?
I'm standing on 5T and I've just made 4 bogeys in 6 holes.
We made the joke last week that I had hands in both honey pots of come play on Sunday, don't, make the cut, don't make the cut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as much as I want him to play on Sunday, right? And as much as I want him to succeed, I don't want him to play on Sunday having stunk it up.
Yeah.
After such a good first round to then be 3 over par on the second, shooting even for the tournament and hating life.
Yeah, hating it. Yeah.
Because that's a long drive home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a long drive home.
Yeah.
You know, for a short drink of water. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I was perceiving it from there. You then go on to make birdie on 8.
7. Yeah.
7 or 8,
Yeah.
which was awesome. Like that was such a strong birdie to make.
Yeah.
Parred out from there. And we walked off that golf course thinking, we'll skip ahead a little bit. We walked off that golf course thinking it should be enough.
Yeah, well,
We were all a little bit lighter after you made that birdie on 7.
well,
Me and your old man,
because
especially.
it was blowing so hard. To put in
Yeah.
perspective, on the 5th hole, awesome hole, this downhill par 3, it's a long one, it's like 195. It was
this had
straight downwind. Like it couldn't have been more downwind, right?
this had me fucked.
This had me stupid, right?
You guys were finishing. What hole did you say it was? What number hole did you say it was?
5.
The par 3. The
Par 3's 5th.
5. So you guys were just finishing 4.
Yeah.
Which was the long par 4 that was blowing into
the wind,
wind.
yeah,
You hit driver 3 wood 2 iron or whatever it
No.
was.
I hit driver 4 on. I didn't even get there.
Yeah,
But
right.
Yeah.
So you guys are finishing that. I went and sat up on the hill in between the tee box and the green, and I've seen the boys in front of you all hit 9 irons.
Yeah.
From 195
Yeah.
and bounce them 30 short and roll through the green.
Yeah.
And then I overheard the conversation. One of the boys turns around and goes, "What'd you hit there?" 9.
Yeah.
And I went,
The fuck?
9? Because I'm looking at this hole, I'm like, that doesn't look 130.
No.
I'm like, that's not 130. What the fuck? Anyway, it was 192, and I was this close because I was overhearing what you and your old man were talking about club selection. I was this close to interjecting and going, they've just all hit 9.
Well, it's funny you say that now that you knew that the whole time because I stepped up when we stepped up onto that tee box. My hat was obviously on the right way, not like it is now, but on the right way, and it was still coming off my head. That's how fucking windy it was.
Yeah.
It's coming off me head.
It was blowing off
It was
from
blowing.
the back.
It was blowing the back off, and I'm like and I'm tightening it. I'm like, Jesus, like this thing's howling. I couldn't even hear me old man next to me, right?
Yeah.
So it was howling, right? A lot of fun,
Yeah.
but Still far
But
out.
how,
Trying to score.
How do you try and score in a hole where you're hitting a 99, 195
Exactly. So
and not even sure of it?
Levi hit first, and I've out of the corner of my eye, I've like peeked over, and I literally had in my mind when Dad scoped that flag. I'm looking at yardage book. I saw what's in front of the green. I'm literally said to me, old man, I'm gonna have to hit like 9 iron or 8 iron. I'm gonna have to hit something low here,
And
because I'm not gonna be able
hard.
to. Like 195 is usually just a stock 4 iron or just a solid 4 iron.
Yeah.
And I'm like, downwind, 7 iron,
Yeah.
6 iron maybe. And I'm like, if I land this on the green, it's 1 bounce over the back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to have to land this short. And I saw, and then I glanced over what Levi hit, and he hit 9 as well. And I'm like, wow. Anyway, so he pitches it what I thought was probably 5-10 meters short of the green.
Yeah.
Right? Carried about 10 meters short of the green. So he's already carried at 170 with a 9 iron.
Yeah.
And it's gone 1 bounce onto the green, checked a little bit, and rolled out to sort of 30 feet, 25 feet, I'll say.
Yeah.
Which was an unbelievable shot. It was
it's
a
a great
great shot in the circumstances. So that gave me so much confidence to hit 9 iron. And so I've teed it up, and I saw the way he's bounced. So I'm like, if I can take 2% off my shot, this should be red hot.
And I'm so glad you said that, because the way you hit that golf ball, the swing you put it on, if I was to do the same thing, I'm expecting to take 7 to 8 meters off that shot.
Yeah.
So it's my 9 iron carries 133, 134. I'm looking to hit at 127.
Yeah, well, I hit my 9 iron 135, 136, somewhere around there. So I'm like, if I just hit a 130 shot from 195, this should be good.
Yeah.
And when I hit it, I loved it.
Yeah.
Because I saw it where it pitched and sort of bounced, and I'm like, and we lost it because it's down the hill. And I'm just waiting for it to just creep onto the green. I thought it was going to be magical, and it turns out it just got to the sort of the front edge bit, which I was more than happy with.
I walked forward a little bit, and I'm like, it's short. And you've gone, what?
I've gone, what? And anyway, and where it was fine, but yeah. And then the next hole is 520, par 5, great hole. 520? Yeah, 525, 530, something like that.
Yeah.
And I've hit driver, 3-wood, 8 iron.
Yeah.
And hit them all as hard as I could.
And then had to pick up all your clubs and put them back in the bag.
Oh my God. The old boy, right? We're walking up, and it's about 100 meters off the tee box, and there's like, you go through the path, you go onto the path around the corner, and there's like a lip going down
Almost
onto
like
the path.
a natural curb.
It's like a curb, exactly.
Right.
And he's like tried to take a right and go straight up over that, and sort of misjudged it a bit, and the thing goes whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah,
it was doing a full
two,
mono.
The front 2 wheels of the MGI have kicked up, and he's gone, oh yeah, no worries, I know how to get out of this. Speeds it up, and I've gone, nah. and then all of a sudden it just goes, wah, all the way back.
Have you seen Cars?
Yeah.
Remember where they go fucking tractor tipping?
Yeah.
That's exactly That's what it looked like. And I was pissing myself. I thought it was hilarious.
The best part about it is you'd whacked in a new staff bag for the event, and staff bags are huge. So like everyday golfers will know the drama of trying to shove grips and into your golf bag. You don't have that issue with a staff bag.
This goes in.
All 14 clubs fell straight out like a basketball swishing through a hoop, right? Just clean, right? Straight out of the bag.
They just slot straight out onto
and
the dirt.
MGI keeps rolling backwards and rolls over 2 golf shafts, right? And I'm just going, is Dudsy here? Is Dudsy at the event? We're going to have to go see the tour truck. We're fucked.
I was pissing myself, and Dad hated it.
Your old man, bless him, was so upset and so disappointed in himself.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, you got bourbon and coke in that drink bottle, mate? What's going on?
Yeah, we need a learner plate on this champion. Anyway, he was actually salty, and I'm pissing myself because I thought it was funny, which I reckon helped lighten up the mood a little bit, considering I'd sort of not blown my
Because
round.
I can only imagine where he was thinking. It was just like, fuck, we're battling here. I've just done this.
Yeah.
I'm going to make him even more shitty than what he was. But again, you took it the right way.
So
I took
funny.
it the right way.
It was
I think
so
it
funny.
calmed him down a little bit as well.
It was so funny. Yeah, like that animation of seeing all the clubs just go, just slide out. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And the bags are falling off and everything, and he's just like, what the fuck? It was comical.
Oh, it was comical.
So funny. It was so funny. I parred that one, and then made birdie on that next hole, which I gave a bit of a fist pump because I knew it meant heaps. I needed it, and ended up making pars on 8 and 9. We come in
4 under for the tournament.
We come in 4 under, and I was actually 1 inside the cut line. When I came in, it was at 3 under. Just for a few minutes. It was only for a few minutes.
When I checked it was at 4, and it was immediately after your round.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I got
if the cut line was at 3, it was when you're on 16.
Okay, well, I got to the scorer's desk, and it was at 3. So it must have literally gone doot,
Yeah.
within probably us.
Yeah, probably.
It was probably us. There was probably me that fucking pushed the thing
Maybe.
up to 4.
Maybe.
Anyway, got in at 4, saw how many people needed to get from like 3 or 4 under to 5. I saw how many people. I was tied at 41st and I was on the cut line.
And we're in the bar cheesing and, having a beer and just, celebrating almost.
I was told by so many it will not get to 5. It might even go back to 3.
Yeah.
Because it was blowing its head off. Right. So
And
I was probably 70-30, 70% going awesome. With if I was tied for 53rd or 52nd, nah, I'm not confident.
No.
I'm happy that I'm in the cut now, but I won't be. But I was tied for 41st. There was 15 guys needed to get to 5 under.
Yeah.
And because of the conditions and how many people came in and what the numbers were, what the scores they were at, a few of them were still at 1 under.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is looking really good. Right. And unfortunately, it didn't get to it was got 10 past 6, I reckon it got to, where it's still at 4 under. And I got told by one of the boys that the last 3 groups total that came in, so 9 guys, 6 of them birdied 2 out of their last 3 to move the cut line to 5. So, obviously, I'm not. It's the reason why it went out, and I'm like, far out.
Yeah.
Like just 2 weeks in a row. I'm like, are you kidding me? On the cut line. That's probably the only negative I'll take out of the 2 weeks, really. Well, out of the Nash anyway. That's the only negative.
That leads me into my question from the second cut, but we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah. Otherwise, great experience going into Q School. Like such a good opportunity to go play those 2 events to really see how my game holds up against some of the best. And it's a miscut, but
you've still done everyone proud though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like, you went in with 0 expectations. You mentioned that last week with Heritage, and you've gone into this week with 0 expectation as well.
It's an opportunity.
It's learning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So everyone who listens to this podcast, I'm sure, is proud of your achievements.
Yeah.
Despite the disappointing results. In the grand scheme of the tournament.
Yeah.
However, I think once you put it all into perspective, you weren't in these events a month ago.
No.
You know what I mean? You had no right being there up until when you were there.
Correct.
So,
exactly.
On
paper, absolutely. I didn't have no right being there. I don't have a tour card.
You took the bull on by the horns, and you came out second best this time round. But you know what? Like I said to you on Sunday morning in the couple of minutes before the golf day, was you're going to be so much better off for it going into Q School.
Absolutely.
Going into Asian Tour Q School, which I'm sure you're going to have another crack at this year as well. Yeah. You've got so many events coming up in the next 3 to 4 months that these 2 events in the last 2 weeks are going to help you so much more, because you might cop windy conditions in one and go, right, I'm comfortable in the wind for whatever reason for the Nash. Or, I'm familiar with this golf course, but hang on, I played at Heritage a couple of weeks ago and I was familiar there, right? But I could, don't take it for granted.
No. Just because you know the golf course, you still got to get the ball in the hole.
Correct.
You still have to hit the thing.
So those sort of, and there are only a couple of examples of, some very basic ideas, but like, you're going to take so much out of it, mate. And like I said, you've done us proud. We're not sitting here going, fuck, that's it. It's all over. No. Absolutely not.
If
I was for a couple of minutes, but
it filled me with, it made me feel warm. Yeah, I was not shitty. I was more like, oh, you're kidding.
It's a miss.
Like
it's not necessarily a miscut. It's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, just give me that. Yeah. I've worked me ass off in that final round, especially like mentally, like trying to stay in this thing and trying to stay composed and stuff like that because I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
That it's like it shifts up and it's like, no, bad, like you're going home. It's like far out.
Yeah.
And it reassured me because, yes, I was under par. Yes, I'm on the cut line. Yes, there was some huge Australian names that were 4 shots behind me.
Yeah.
That reassured me as well. It's like, oh, I am supposed to be here.
Absolutely.
I am good enough.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If I finished 5 over both weeks, back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Maybe you think you're fucking better than you are. But it just reassured me. There was some mistakes in there. There was a lot, and I'm only going to get better.
Yeah.
And if I'm producing that for my first couple of looks at it, and at Heritage brought my B game and still thereabouts.
Yeah.
It's good signs.
Yeah.
Happy days. So, yeah.
But then you go ahead. Okay. The B grade was at Heritage. You brought a slightly stronger game to the Nash.
I played better at the National.
Everyone played better at the National.
Exactly.
Right? 21 under won the event. Harrison had 21 through 4 rounds. You missed it with 4, right? So the cut line was at 5 under. You don't see that very often in any tour event.
No, well, Raptor actually provided me with a weird stat. Or not a weird stat, an actual stat. that the average cut line on the Australian tour is like 2.1 under or something.
Yeah, so it's
And
three
then
shots better.
The average winning number is like 16.8 under or something
Yeah.
like that.
So
So,
for
it's
the
around
last-
that 16 to 17 under wins, but 2 under makes the cut. So there's some events that are at 3 and 4 or 5 like the Nash, and there's some that are even 1 over.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. I brought my B game for one, played slightly better on another, but
You're that close.
and for my first looks at it, look, I'm not disappointed. And like you said, one of them I qualified for, and 2 of them I just scraped in. I don't even have a tour card, and yet I'm playing a tour event.
You had no business being there a month before you were.
It's an opportunity, and now it's a free bit of experience.
Cool.
Literally a free bit
That's
of
it.
experience before I go out and anyway.
And again, that leads me into my second cut question,
Good
but
fun.
we've got something else to cover before then. I apologise in advance, ladies and gents. This episode
Oh,
is
we're
going to
going
be
longer. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's
We're
going to
going
be a
longer.
touch longer.
We're going longer.
Funny I mentioned that because after Luke's episode, we had a comment on Spotify. I can't remember who it was. I apologise in advance if you're listening. But he goes, "Love the longer episodes. Keep them this length."
Hey!
And I'm like, this was 1 hour 50. I'm like, I can't talk to Joel for 4 minutes, let alone 1 hour 50. Like, fuck me swinging. I'm struggling to do an hour.
We're touching on a topic that I want to know. I'm itching to know about because it was the National was the reason why I didn't attend.
Yes.
Which is not nor a good or bad thing.
No.
It was just the fact that it's like I'm now playing this event, so now I can't come to the Barnbougle.
The Barnbougle.
How was she?
She was unbelievable. Right? Mate, I cannot stress it enough. It was by far and away the best golfing experience I've ever had.
Unreal.
Right? I've
Genuinely makes me happy.
like,
Genuinely
honestly,
makes me happy.
because like when I think back at it, like it's been like 4 or 5 days since I got back. I've had a bit of time to reflect on it.
just-
I had an hour and 20 each way on the home from the Nash on Friday to reflect on it. Less than 24 hours after landing. So in your absence, I was joined by Mark from Chasing Birdies, which made the event even better.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I'd said
yeah,
in the previous episode, the missus had approached me and said, look, I'll come, but if you can find someone, find someone.
Do it.
Mark was more than happy to take up the spot. Let me say that for sure. And he had a fantastic time as well.
I actually asked him, how was it? He goes, just wasn't long enough. He
Yeah.
goes, it was amazing. He goes, I wish I was there forever. Like
Yeah.
he said the same thing you were.
Yeah.
He goes, I've never seen a place like that
So
before.
going to Berg on Saturday in the morning with Mitch and Michael, the first thing I said to him was like, clear some space in the calendar because November, December, we're going.
We're going. We're
going to do 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Right?
You go 1, 1, 1, 1.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or, you know, play Boogle Run, which is the little path.
Just to sidetrack real quick for 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Raptor actually let me know on the phone that he's soon, I don't know when actually,
Yeah.
but he's going away to Barnbougle
Yeah.
with 3 other guys from Rosanna that they do it every year.
Oh, yeah.
So they go and they play 36 a day for 3 days. So they do it.
I don't think my body could hold
like
it.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they play June's Lost Farm, then Lost Farm, June's Lost Farm, or something. They play
my
6
God.
rounds in the 3 days and they just go smash it out.
I'd spend $4,000 on golf balls.
make the most of it and then they go home. Continue.
Yeah, right. So
Continue.
I'll try and summarize as best as I can whilst giving away plenty of details,
Yes.
which I'm sure people are keen to hear.
Yeah.
Shout out to Craig who wants to hear all about it as well. From Berg. We get there, we obviously fly in. There's 6 blokes around the oversized baggage area that's just stressing, right? And I think my bag comes out like second or third, so I just grab it. I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm out, right? And then Mark's bag comes out next. I'm like, even better, let's go.
We're on.
Jump in a hire car, head down. It was
You open the hotel room, not your club. Shit. No, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's legit.
Anyway.
Get down there, and when you put Barnbougle in your maps, it takes you to the dunes, right?
Well, that's the first one. And
Correct.
then-
And so we drive in, and I see a sign, and I'll show you a photo of it after this. I see a sign on the right-hand side saying Lost Farm, follow this road or whatever, 4 kilometers.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, I look at Mark and I'm like, that's a long walk if we've got to tee off there this afternoon. Like, what's going on? So we go into the pro shop, talk to the guys, and the guy's like, no. You guys are staying out there as well. So jump back in the car, drive down that 4K road, and then it opens up to another Disneyland on the other side of the property, right? So we did that, checked in, and this is the best part about it. You're going to love this. Go to the front office, and the guy's there like, oh, your room's not, this is 11 o'clock, by the way, in the morning. He goes, your room's not ready till 2 o'clock
Yeah, I
in
was
the
going to say
afternoon.
check-in was at 2.
Check-in's at 2. He's like, your room's not ready till then. And we're like, okay. He's like, you playing? And we're like, yeah, Lost Farm this afternoon. He's like, what time? I'm like, 1:30. And he goes, Go to the car, grab your clubs, get a change of clothes, go downstairs to the change rooms, walk out onto the first tee now. There's no one on course. And I'm like, okay, no worries. He's like, you got a bit of time. There's no one teeing off till 1 o'clock. So you got he's like, you got 2 hours.
Oh.
Go get yourselves organized, have a bit of lunch, hit some balls, and go play. And we were like, okay. And he's like, I'm here till 8:30 tonight. You can check in whenever you like. I'm like, oh. Santa, can I have another present?
Can I have a pony?
Yeah, legit. And I'm just like,
unreal.
you know, the first pony's not enough.
Yeah,
Like, I need
you
another
want
one.
2.
Correct.
So
we did that,
pink
and
one.
I'm telling you now, like the range.
What was the first tee shot? Sorry, sorry.
First tee-
Sorry, I'm so excited.
the range is like sick. It's almost like hitting balls out into. It's a paddock, obviously, but it's the most unmanicured area of the golf course. It's the tee boxes are perfect.
Yeah.
And then it's just shrubs and just wispy grass and that's just mowed down. And it's actually all right. I like it. I rate it. There's a poor kid picking all the balls up by hand with those little ball. Whatever. Yeah, legit. Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
First tee shot is a par 4, might have been a par 5. Protected with bunkers on the left-hand side, bunker far right. I hit this nice little draw with driver, just pumped it. Had like 190 in.
And you're just
And yeah, Mark's just going, and I'm like, yeah, nice. And then Mark pumps his into the bunker. It was a good drive. We're walking down the path, right? Big fucking 3 meter long brown belly black snake slithering across the path. I go to Mark, watch out. And he goes, oh, fuck. Right? Just shitting ourselves. First hole.
You're like, we're on here.
We've barely been here. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
You go back to get eaten.
So we played the Lost Farms the first day in the afternoon, and the joint is off its head.
Yeah,
right?
is it just?
The difference that I noticed between the Lost Farm and the Dunes is rated number 11 in the world, mind you. Like, it's a fucking well-established golf course. The Lost Farm is very well protected in the sense that a lot of the greens are enclosed with trees and stuff, and you feel not claustrophobic, but you feel a bit more covered.
Yeah.
The dunes you're hitting into open, and you can't see where pins are on greens.
So it's almost like the old course at the Nash and the Moona or
Yeah.
Parramatta. It's like
Yeah.
that. Like, not you haven't seen the old, but
No.
that's what I'm picturing.
Yeah,
now.
correct.
Yeah.
The dunes to me, the second day was a tougher golf course, more pretty golf course, but the Lost Farm has a special place in my heart because number one, I played it right.
Yeah. But it was also the first one.
The first one,
You're
right?
like the experience was high.
I think every time we walked up to a tee box, the reaction was, "Oh my fucking god,
You're kidding, yeah.
You're joking." I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. Right? You're walking down fairways and around dog legs, and you're like, "Oh my god, have a look at this." You know what I mean? Like, I've said it before. We're going. Like, there's no questions about it. And then the dunes, like, I reckon the dunes had 3 par 3s that were just like the 7th at Pebble Beach.
Oh, just
Like, the beach is on one side, and then you just turn around and there's just par 3.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
I saw that one.
I put a couple up on the
I
stories.
saw one of them.
I've got
I'm
them all
looking
saved.
at it. I'm looking at it. I literally replied. I'm like, you can get fucked
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
It was on the Wednesday.
Yeah. And the Lost Farm had one as well.
No, it might have been the Thursday.
Anyway, regardless,
It was the Thursday morning.
it was just like, holy shit, right? In between, the accommodation was just as good, Where we were staying at the Lost Farm, there's obviously all the rooms and the pro shop and all that kind of stuff. But next door to the pro shop in the same building is a sports bar, right? So after our round, we went in, had a beer, and it's just like being in a pub.
Yeah.
There's, all the races are on the
chill
tallies and, all that kind of stuff. There's a bit of music playing, pool table, all that kind of stuff. And we spoke to the bartender and we said, what time do you shut up? And he goes, depending on how busy it is, but legally I got to be here till 10:30. And I look at Mark and I'm like, we're coming back here later.
Yeah.
We ducked out into town, grabbed a feed at a pub, came back and just started putting beers away at the sports bar with everybody else that was there on their golf trips. Because the joint was pumping, music was blaring, whatever else. It was actually a really good environment, good vibe.
Yeah.
But mate, they've thought of everything.
Yeah.
They've thought of fucking everything.
Well, it's got to be because it's a destination where you go for a golf experience. So what
Correct.
more do you want rather
Absolutely.
than go play with the boys, go play 2 unreal golf courses, come back, stay there, and then you go into a bar.
Yeah, perfect.
That's Disneyland.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
And
Were the courses hard?
the Lost Farm I think the Lost Farm's gettable I think you'd have a lot of fun
The
at the Lost
enclosed one?
Farms.
Was it yeah.
Yep. It's not, when I say it's enclosed, it's still a links golf
Yeah,
course.
yeah, but-
right. But it's a little bit more defined. Whereas like the dunes, you've seen links golf courses in the past where it's
of
just
course.
like you
Well,
can stand on a
I
tee.
just played one.
You can stand on a tee box and go, am I hitting it onto that fairway or that
Oh,
one?
that one, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just open,
It's
and you have to
open and
find.
you got to figure it out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The dunes is very much like that, whereas Lost Farm is quite defined and quite you understand what the job is.
Yeah.
Right.
So Lost Farm is gettable, would you say? Or can be.
Can be gettable.
Yeah.
I walked around there. We weren't scoring comps or anything, but we kept scores. I think I would have had 36 points playing off 7 with
it's breaking 80.
Yeah,
It's breaking 80.
with my eyes closed,
With no idea.
like with no idea, and not really doing anything super special.
No, well,
Right. The dunes was definitely a tougher challenge. Wind was a bit more blowy. There's a couple of blind tee shots. There's a couple of blind pins. Right, there's a par 3. You couldn't see the pin on the par 3.
I know which one you're talking about too.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen
I'll
it.
show you the video later. I've got it there. And literally, like, we're zapping a fraction of the green just left of where we think the pin is going. Yeah, 175. Great. Hit a 5-iron to there. Hope it cuts.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, cool. I was the only one to stick the green.
Yeah.
I think I put it to like 35 feet. And I might have 3-jabbed it. But I'm walking off that golf course or the golf hole going,
That was sick.
awesome. Sick.
That was sick.
Right?
Yeah.
I got really tired towards the end of the dunes round.
Yeah.
I think I was maybe 3 or 4 over through 11.
Yeah.
And blew out to like 10 or 11 over. And like, who cares? Like,
That's
I
the
couldn't
point.
give a
That's the
flaming
point.
fuck.
That's the
I
point.
had so much fun for 2 days playing 2 golf courses with a good mate. Was unreal.
That's the point.
It was unreal.
That's the point. That's so sick.
And I'm so thankful for yourself and for Ali for
Yeah,
organising
that
it for
actually
her birthday.
makes me feel a bit like when I saw specifically, I mentioned it this last week or last ep or ep before, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Where when we sat down at that table at Heidelberg and I saw him, I showed you, I'm like, I'm in, and you're like, and we're both like, fuck yeah, but we're both like, shit, like
legit.
shit.
And I said it last week. My heart sank when that happened.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was like, but of course it worked out to be great
And then
in the end.
If I had no contribution to it in terms of the organization, and then I just got basically handed a free trip to go with you, then I would have been like, I would have felt terrible. But I'm like, I organize this fucking thing. Get stuffed.
Yeah, correct.
It's like, go have fun, figure out someone else. I'm playing a tour event.
And unfortunately, some of the plans that you and Ali had made didn't quite go to plan.
Yeah.
Like the shuttle service and
Yeah,
stuff to and
yeah.
from the
It
airport. So
didn't
we ended up
work.
having to hire a car
Yeah.
and stuff. So if I was to do that trip again, the way we did it,
You book it 6 months in advance.
and you save $1,000.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We paid penalties for being late.
Unfortunately.
Which fair. Like, who cares? You only turn 30 once, and you might only overdo this trip once.
Yeah,
So,
correct. Yeah,
fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
But a couple things. I'm buying my own travel bag. Thank you, Raptor, for lending me yours, but I'm buying
He
my
actually
own.
called me. He goes, "Oi, tell that idiot I want it back."
Yeah, he can have it back. That's fine.
Well,
I'll
he
happily
needs it
get
back.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's fine. You can. Are you going to Rosanna tomorrow? You can literally have it today. I've got it in the
Yeah,
the
I'll put it in the car,
Chuck it in the car so you can have it. It's not my responsibility anymore, Raptor. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. But you could definitely do it for at least $1,000
Yeah.
cheaper than what I did. And I would not go there for 2 days again. I'd do it for longer.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You need at least 2 nights, not 2 days.
Yeah.
Not one night, but 2.
Yeah. That was the point in terms of cost effectiveness as well.
Yeah, correct. No, that's fine.
That was why it was
That's
done,
fine. But I would happily do it again. I want to travel more. I want to see more golf courses. I want to play
Well,
different places.
we've got 3. I've got 3 bucket list trips that I want to do properly.
Yep.
One's to Sydney, which
Yep.
I've actually already done, but I'll do. I want to do it again.
Yep.
Especially to 2 other courses I want to play on the back
Yep.
of Pimble and the Aussie.
Yep.
That will organise at some stage.
Yep.
Then Raptors done Adelaide a couple times,
Yep.
which is off its head as well. You play the 4 big ones there. And then I reckon the one that's at top of my list is New Zealand.
Yeah, cool.
The 4, well, there's more than 4 over there that are unbelievable, but the 4 ones that come to mind first. And yeah, obviously that's deer. I think Raptor's doing it. Oh, Raptor already did it.
Raptor's done New Zealand.
He's gone and done Millbrook and Jacks Point and
Yep.
all that crap, and
He did it a couple weeks ago.
did it not long ago at all. And I saw some of the photos. I'm like, you're kidding me.
And if you want to check it out, Jack's Point especially is fantastic.
Oh, mate.
Go and suss Raptors Instagram, and
Well-
it's all there. Keep an eye on ours if I haven't done so already. I'm going to be making some posts about Boogles with some photos.
Good.
I I would be remiss if I didn't mention. So on the Thursday at the Dunes, we actually got placed into a 4-ball.
Oh,
And we played with two of the sickest blokes I think I've ever played golf with.
yeah, really?
Dead set. We played with a young kid called Ben from the States. So he's currently studying at Michigan State University. Here on a exchange program with uni, and just he's like, I've got a week off. So I jumped on a plane, came to Tassie on plane. Played with a higher set, unfortunately. And I reckon lost 24 golf balls playing off one. Right, just
well,
what do you do? You're not playing with your own equipment.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
And it was fun watching him play, even with equipment that wasn't his, because again, he was a good golfer.
Yeah.
And just getting to know him. The other bloke we played with was a gentleman by the name of Simon.
Simon says.
Yep. Simon says hello. Ripper character, right? Quite a prominent figure in business. Let's just say that, and has held some pretty high roles in some pretty massive companies that I'll tell you later on. Was just the most down to earth,
Chill as. Wouldn't have ever known.
bloke.
Wouldn't have ever known.
And if you hadn't have told me, I would have been like, yeah, he's just a
You drive a Honda.
he's just a bloke.
You drive a Honda Accord.
Yeah,
Instead, he
just a
drives
bloke.
4 Maseratis.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, sick.
Right.
I
And
love that.
both of them said they're going to chuck us a listen. So if you're listening, gentlemen, thank you very much for
Unreal.
the day. It was phenomenal from my part to be a part
He hasn't
of it.
told me yet. Did he throw a club?
No.
Oh, good boy.
No. And Noah asked the question, how many golf balls did I lose?
Oh yeah, ball count.
I lost 3 at the Lost Farm and I lost 2 at the Dunes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I was pretty happy
That's
with
pretty
myself.
good.
I was pretty happy with myself.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I was.
Noah would have no more balls left. No Goodsman's, Golfsman's.
Anyway,
A peanut.
especially around that joint. Because a couple. Okay, so these are the things that trip me out, right?
All right, hang on. I'll ask this. What was the biggest surprise / shock, and what was? I actually don't think there will be one for you. What was? I'm not going to say. Oh yeah, I'll say it. What was the biggest letdown?
Okay.
If there is one. If there was one.
There really isn't that much of a letdown, because we got blessed with weather as well.
Of course.
The weather
What
would have been the
What
first.
would you like to have been different?
The length that we were there for.
Okay.
I would have liked.
Oh,
I
that's
would've-
good then.
I would have liked.
That's
honestly,
mint.
I would have liked to have played them both twice.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Because the first round you go out and just test everything. I walked off the dunes, especially thinking, now that I've seen it,
Yeah,
I reckon
I'd
I
love
could be
to have another
yeah,
crack here.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But
If that's the biggest letdown, you're flying.
absolutely. So, a couple of things that took me by surprise. No sand buckets.
Yeah.
If you take a fillet, which you do, you take a lot of fillets, right? And they're clean too. They're so crispy. I've never taken a fillet before in my life like this.
Like
right?
a beaver tail.
Yeah. Like you see highlights of Tiger doing it on the tour for 20 years and you're just like, ha ha.
I could do
Right?
that too.
If you take a fillet, replace it, put
Yeah.
it back. Otherwise, walk away.
What if it explodes?
Walk away.
Yeah.
Do not. There's no sand buckets on the golf course.
right.
They've obviously got crew that come out and just fill it all in.
I've told you about the Aussie before.
Yep.
There was no sand buckets
Correct.
there either.
And the second thing is, if you hit it in the long wispy shit, don't go look for it. You're basically told you're
Joe
not.
Blake's.
You're not allowed to go and look for it, right?
Because we're not coming out with a first aid kit.
Correct.
If you get bitten. Yeah,
Correct.
right. Wow.
We took some gambles and had a look for a couple that we thought we might get.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready to go walking
Nah,
in
nah.
when the grass
Mate,
is knee
if
high.
if they warn you not to, then you don't.
It was take
don't.
take a lateral drop point of entry and just
Correct.
fucking move on.
Move on. Yeah.
And I think that might be a large reason why they don't play comps or have comps there through my score. I'm pretty sure they don't. I might be wrong.
There
we
might
didn't
be
have
a comp day.
a comp day our week maybe or our month, like a monthly medal. Who knows?
Like they might have a Saturday weekly in the morning.
Who
that
knows?
might be it.
But we
Dunno.
didn't have the option
Couldn't
to
tell
play
you.
comps, and we asked, and they said no, and we said okay,
Probably not enough numbers.
correct.
Probably no numbers. Well, were you the only ones out there in terms of what you saw?
I reckon the Dunes was busier than Lost Farm.
Uh-huh.
I reckon we were maybe 2 of 20 on the golf course at the Lost Farm.
Sick.
And maybe I reckon it was pretty close to a full field of people on the dunes.
Like an 80 to 100.
Maybe thereabouts across the length of the day. Maybe 80 for the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not much.
Yeah. No, not much at all, but like
40 per side
full-
sort of thing.
considering it's a destination place, like
of course. That makes sense.
the joint is different. Instantly both of them are in the top 3.
Sick. Really? Wow. Wow. So you got PK than those two, or not in
It's
that
the
order
Dunes.
specifically.
It's the Dunes, PK, and Lost Farm.
Really?
Probably in that order.
Sick. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
you can't knock number 11 in the world, can you? Sorry, Raptor.
Don't apologize to him.
Nah,
it's
so
it's opinions. Champ.
It is
It's opinions.
And look,
mate.
honestly,
It's opinions.
that was probably the biggest letdown as well. If you want to ask that question, is that I probably didn't give the Dunes enough time to sink in.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah,
I
yeah.
let all the sinking in happen at the Lost Farm because we just got there.
Yeah.
I didn't sit there and go, "Fuck, this is pretty incredible."
Yeah.
I just sort of walked up and played it.
Yeah.
Like it was my home deck.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
That's probably the biggest letdown. It's my own personal one.
Yeah.
And that's why I walked off thinking I'd love to go do it again because that's probably the time where I go, fuck, this is unreal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
See it
mean?
for a second time.
Correct. So, but no, thank you again, Jolie, and to my fiance Ali for organising it because it was a real special trip.
Mate, we'll back and forth for
a long time. I know full well.
2 weeks, and the email chain that we had. Oh my god.
Yeah, correct. And again, thank you to Mark from Chasing Birdies for joining me on
for
the trip.
stepping up to the plate and teeing off.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
He was.
That made me feel a lot better as well. When you let me know that.
I don't know if I told the story of how I approached him about the trip. We were chatting about the golf day. He rang me to ask me a couple of questions about the golf day. And I said, we got this drama. Joel's in the Nash and I've got to find someone to go play and da. And I sort of, after that, go, you're not interested in a 2-day trip to fucking Tassie to play Barnbougle, are you? And the line went silent. Dead silent. Like,
yeah, he's just like.
and I had him on speaker because we were at the dinner table. And I looked at Ali and I'm like, I think I've got him.
I think he died.
I think I've got him.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'll let you know. and just hangs the phone up.
That's a yes.
Right? A day later, I get a text message. Hey, mate, I've got the all clear from the missus.
I'm in.
And I'm like, okay.
We're on.
He's like, I just need to hear from work. And I text him back going, all good, mate. Let me know either way. I said, but if work say no, I think you're coming down with something. And he just responded with like the laughing emoji. And then again, the next day, get a phone call. Hey, mate, so about the golf day. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, we're going to be pretty tired after Barnbougle, aren't we? And I was like, yeah, we are. I was like, yeah, we are.
That's the best.
But it was sick. And it was a great trip. I had a great time getting to know Mark a little bit better.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just, fucking golf trip. And my first real proper golf trip too.
Proper one.
Proper golf
Like
trip.
legit one.
I've got the bug now.
Yeah.
I just want to keep playing golf.
He's on.
I just want to play so much golf.
He's on.
I hate that it's nearly winter. I just want to keep playing
Daylight
golf.
savings ends next week.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
Okay. I hate Michael now. He reminded me of that just earlier.
Yeah.
We had a hit just earlier.
SGM.
That prick. He goes,
Well,
you're not going to be able to do this next weekend. Shut up.
We're going for a pracky on Wednesday night. It's probably, I'm playing 9 holes with Mum on Friday night just to get one more in before daylight savings. And that'll be my last after hit work for 6 months, and I'm really upset about it. But let's move swiftly on, Jolly, into questions from the second cut. Let's wrap these up nice and quickly because we've been keeping these lovely listeners for way too long.
Nah, Buggy, if you made it this far, you can listen for more.
Absolutely. I want to know, Jolly, from your perspective, what has been the best part of the 2 pro events you've played in so far?
Best part.
Something that you just almost like that realization of, oh, fuck, how good is this?
Yeah, so I'll give you 2.
Okay.
One from the event, one from myself.
Mm-hmm.
The event is, from the event itself, it's all about you,
Okay.
player.
Yeah.
They put everything, which is the whole point. It sounds silly.
Go on with it. I want to tell a story after this because they make it all about the spectators too.
Okay.
I'll tell a story in a minute.
So it's all about you, which is the point. But it's more or less like I've played many, many 4-round events involved with the PGA, with the program that I did and have done. And I've been involved heavily in a lot of those in terms of interstate. And they do it very well. They bend over for you and they do very well. But I thought that was the sort of benchmark.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've been exposed to, right? And I've seen many, tour events, but I didn't realize what was actually going on in the background.
Of course.
In terms of during the week, not just what happens from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? So the week starts on Monday.
Yeah.
The tour event starts on Monday. So you see a lot of the guys showing up, doing their drills and practice and go see the golf course and blah, blah, blah and all that. And they've got, so when you show up, you don't. There's no registration. It's all online. So
Yep.
it's all through the PGA app through your account. You go in and you literally press check into tournament.
Oh,
Press that, continue, gives you a tick because it asks any dietary requirements. I don't know why, or do you have any concerns that you want for the week? And
oh, cool. Okay.
if you do, I don't know if someone goes, oh, I'm driving or coming from this distance, or someone's staying with me, can we please have one side of the draw each, or something like that, like a request, like can we both have mornings because we're taking one car, sort of thing, like that sort of stuff. I think that's all it's used for, not dietary requirements. I don't know why I said that.
Who knows?
But concern
Could be anything.
Could be anything, right?
Yeah.
And it just has your box, and you just press continue, and then it comes up and it goes entered, tick, checked in, tick, draw, whatever. It doesn't come out till Tuesday arvo, right?
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm like, oh, awesome. And at the Heritage, when after the day I qualified, I asked Heath, I'm like, mate, this is my first one. I understand how
Show me the ropes.
events work. I need to tell me everything. What do I need to do? What do I need to be here for? What times do I need to be here in terms of before the first round? Blah blah blah. Do we need to grab anything? Where's the scorecard? Like I just need to ask
I wanna
questions.
know all
I
the
just run it off
details.
questions, and some of them were very obvious, but it's just reassuring. So I do the right thing. I wanted to do the right thing, right? And he goes, mate, we don't need to see you until 5 minutes before your first tee off.
Sick.
Before that, do whatever you like.
Nice.
I'm like, so that's it.
That's
he goes,
it.
He goes,
Hit him well.
he goes, go play well, dude. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, oh, one thing, because he saw all my equipment. I'm with Titleist and blah, blah, blah. And I've got their contract, and which is awesome. And he goes, have you spoken to Duds? That's what he said to me. Have you spoken to Alex? I said, no, am I supposed to? And he goes, he has some stuff for you. I'm like,
Awesome.
I'm like, for me? And he goes, yeah, as in for Titleist users. He has some stuff for you. So I'm like, oh, pisser. Right? And which was really weird. 5 minutes later, me and Levi are out on 12. Right? 5 minutes later, Duds calls me. Goes, Jolie, good shoot this morning. I'm like, thanks, man. Like, awesome. Like, anyway, he goes, what ball do you use? I'm like, 2025 Pro V. Glove size, medium stay soft. He goes, do you care about hats? And I'm like, I don't know. Why? He goes, come see me tomorrow. Okay. Right, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, apparently for guys that use Titleist, or and you would see it on leaderboards where you have your name and that little Titleist logo, it means a Titleist ball user.
There, like I've said it before, there is a huge Titleist presence in this country.
Massive. Well, because they're one of the major sponsors.
And if you've
for the
looked at leaderboards in the last 5 to 15, 20, 50 years in this country,
is
Titleist
huge.
are
with
there.
the PGA of Australia, they're massive. They're the most used equipment, period.
Yep.
And ball and driver and everything.
What did
Anyway,
Duds have for you?
I show up on that. I actually got there Wednesday morning because I've worked on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I got there Wednesday morning, and I go in and see, I think it was Simon, I'm not sure. He goes, and he looks at this list and it has me and it has 2025 Pro V. There you go, 2 dozen. Gives me 2 medium stay soft gloves just in this little plastic slip thing. It wasn't even in the packet, slapped.
Yeah.
There you go. And then this table of just full of hats. He goes, colours? And I'm like, huh? And I'm like, what? And he goes, well, you get 2. Which ones do you want? I'm like,
Oh, cool.
which ones do I get? He goes, and he's looking at me like, is this kid for real? He goes, because he thought I was been there many times. And I'm like, dude, this is my first time. I don't know what do you want me to do?
I'm new here.
He goes, pick your hats. I'm like, oh, I thought there was 2 assigned for me. So I'm just like, that one, I don't have that one, and I don't have that one. And I'm like, I'm standing there like, now what? He's like, go away. And I'm like, oh, sick, right? So I'm just excited, right? Because in every event for those Titleist users, you get 2 dozen, 2 gloves, and 2 hats. That's just as a, there you go. Use that for the event.
Yeah.
So I've got all these bowls and all these gloves and all these hats just from 2 events. And I'm like, this is Christmas. Anyway, then throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Alex Bateman, Duds,
Legend.
just the greatest of greatest men.
The best club
best you can
fitter
come
in
by.
the country.
Oh.
I don't care what anyone says.
Mate, and he's on the putting green with 2 bags full of Circle T putters and the new putters with 2 grocery bags, which have a Circle T on them, full of Scotty Cameron head covers. And he's just out there going, righto, lads, what are we having?
Why couldn't I have played golf at an earlier age?
You'd never get there, you shit. Then... Sorry, did that come out too naturally? I apologize. Sorry.
Sick.
Anyway.
You prick.
You can be...
Anyway,
Sorry.
let's move it on. Fuck, I don't know if the camera's going to run out.
I'm on the putting green and I'm just going out there and Duds goes, he goes, what putt are you using? And I just hold it up. He goes, oh, wait, check this one out. And it's got a circle tee on it. It's slightly different design to mine. And I rolled that. I'm like, And he goes, yeah, it's sick, isn't it? And I'm like, what?
Why? Why have you done this
and
to
these
me?
bags of circle tee, and I'm just in heaven.
So,
and I'm
like-
practicing, and we go out and we can practice, and there's Titleist tour balls. Anyway, and yeah, same thing was happening at the Nash. You show up, and there's the balls are in like a pyramid thing. And
perfect.
like all set up for you. I'll show you a photo later. And it's like I said, it's just all about you.
Yeah.
It's all about you.
Sick.
It's just
And personally, you had to.
personally, what was the question?
The best things about the two events.
Personally, it was just reassuring that I'm meant to be there.
Okay.
That my game's good enough.
Yeah, good.
And yeah, missed cuts don't always mean your game's good enough. But the fact that it held up and some of the players I was competing against and some of the numbers that I could have posted that I didn't quite. But some of the like at one stage I was 2 back off the lead through halfway through, a third of the way through my second round. I was 2 shots off the pace.
Yeah.
And it was just reassuring that I know I'm supposed to be there and I'm only going to get better. So I'm proud in the sense that I didn't completely shit the bed because I was either overexcited or overly nervous.
Yep.
I sort of felt comfortable there.
Yeah.
So it was like a comfort thing. I know I'm like, this is it. I'm actually supposed, and it was everything I thought it would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It felt very welcoming and very home-like.
Okay.
That it felt like, it wasn't like I'm standing there going, just please don't look at me because I know I'm an outlier.
Yeah, correct.
Like I'm standing there with my chest out going, I know I can play golf.
Yep.
That's sort of what the reassurance was without blowing
Perfect.
smoke up my ass. So that was it.
How good.
That was it.
Very good. Well answered.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
The equipment nerd in me is just going, 2 dozen golf balls every time I show up to a
It was
golf
awesome.
course. Thank
It was
you.
awesome. It was just so
Lose
accommodating.
these through 6
They
holes.
just roll out the red carpet. There was guys there that I literally felt like I'd never met before, but they knew me the second I turned the corner.
That's
They
sick.
knew, Charlie? And I'm like,
Hello.
hi. I'm like,
And you are?
well,
Sorry.
I didn't want to say that. Like, I should know who these people are because
Yeah.
of who they are, but they knew me. Already knew who I was.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. It was such a relieving thing. Going, oh my god, you guys bust your ass for us.
Yeah.
Like genuinely bust your ass for us.
So the story I wanted to tell was of Friday when I came to watch you at the Nash. I've never been to the National Golf Club before in my life, right? I barely knew where the fuck it was, right? And so I park in the car park and I'm like, there's a building, let's walk in there, right? Walk in and it's the player check-in desk. There was a desk at the front,
Oh yeah.
right, where you checked in. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lady I spoke to goes, I checked in Joel earlier.
You wouldn't have gone to the tournament office.
No, I walked
You
into
weren't
the-
underneath. You were in the foyer.
It was where we had a beer in the it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
around
yeah,
the corner from
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the lady I
yeah.
spoke to goes, oh, yeah, I saw Joel this morning. Fantastic. And I go, where do I need to go? Because I want to go catch him. He's on the back 9. Don't know where the fuck that is. Right? And she points me around and basically walks me outside through the car park again and goes, there's the 10th sign. Walk that way. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
golden. No dramas. And she's giving me a course map and all that kind of stuff. She showed me where the bathroom was. It was great. And I'm in casual gear. Like I rocked up in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts and a hat and runners, right? I was respectful,
You're a
took my
spectator,
hat
dude.
off, whatever.
You're a spectator,
I'm a
man.
spectator. But I was like, I felt so out of place in that clubhouse because I'm like, I'm not in golf gear. I'm normally in golf gear when I'm in this
Yeah,
scenario.
you are.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, out of place. I felt bad asking where the bathroom was. I'm like, I'll just find a tree somewhere. I'll go piss on the course. Right? And
me
she's
a
like,
leaf.
no, you're good. Just like, it's around the corner. I'm like, beautiful. Thank you. Long drive. Right? And I've got the map and I'm looking and I'm like, right, well, 10's there and I got to go. He's probably on 13. So I'll go that way.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, right, I'm walking down and all I hear is, and this ball fizzes over my head. And I'm like,
I know where you walk.
and I'm like,
You walked through 16, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I look to my right, and no joke, it's the 16th tee box, about 85 meters away from where I am. I'm oblivious. I've got no idea. And how? Yeah. And I've turned around and gone, sorry. And the guys there there's one bloke literally like this. I don't know who he was, but he
Make
was
an
wearing-
impression already.
yeah. Like, he was a player.
Of course.
Right? And he's just standing there going, fuck.
But who's
Right,
this
who's
donkey?
this bloke?
Who's
and
this
I'm just
donkey?
like, just holding the map up to my face, like, I don't know, I'm not supposed to be here, right? And then,
That's funny as.
oh, dude, I
Because
never.
you can't see the tee from where you would have been walking
And
from.
I wish to God these lovely ladies at the desk had to turn around and gone, watch out for the par 3 on the right hand side.
Yeah, you're gonna get smoked.
You're going to get smoked, but no joke, Joel. Like you hear, if you've watched good videos or if you've been at, outside the ropes at these events before and heard a ball fizz
Past your face.
through the air.
It's sick.
It's sick when you're behind the person hitting the shot, right? And you're watching it fly away from you. When you feel it, right? You felt the wind take your hat off from the back on one of the holes. The wind nearly took my fucking hat off with this ball. Straight over my head. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus, that was close.
Yeah, that was sick, yeah.
And I just put my head down and fucking put the jets on and kept running.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my little story from trying to catch up with you. I think I told your old man, he just looked at me, he's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
You're an idiot, yeah.
Did you have a question for me for this from the
I
second
did.
cut?
It's a bit of a selfish question.
Okay.
But
Another one. You asked me one last week.
What did I ask you?
If you can compete.
But that was that was genuine. Anyway. Well, not a selfish question, but it's about the tour event.
Yep.
It's about the event. And it relates to me as well. What were you most impressed by, both by the event and myself and playing in the event? And what was, I know what the biggest letdown would have been, in terms of like disappointment, we'll say.
Okay.
What was the most disappointing part? One, the cut, and two, the little downfall in the middle six holes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was the most impressive and satisfying part and the most sort of disappointing part?
So the most impressive part about the event was the golf course itself.
Yeah,
that place is a
That's
joke,
unbelievable.
right? I felt like I walked back out onto the dunes of Barnbougle.
Sick, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The place is...
It's a bit like that, isn't it?
It's different. It's linksy. It's different to the golf course itself, like to Barnbougle itself. But like, I felt like I was out there again. I was like, this is so familiar, even though I've never been there before.
Of course, yeah.
The facility is off its head.
It's awesome.
Like I walked through the car park over the practice chipping area to get out to the back nine. Nearly got killed by a golf ball. Yeah, it was great, phenomenal, right?
I almost died. It was awesome. I almost got killed. It was the best.
The most impressive thing about you, I could turn around and say, "Oh, you drove the ball well, whatever." I think you mentioned it before. Just the way that you conducted yourself early, right? You were walking around chest out, going, I belong here. This is what I'm here to do. I'm not here to make up a number. No. I'm not here to come, 141st, right, out of 142. I'm here to compete. I'm here to show something, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest disappointment was that you couldn't carry that for the whole round.
The whole entire thing.
Despite the poor results.
Of course, yeah.
That was probably the most disappointing thing.
Yeah.
I said it last week when you asked me a very similar question for questions of the second cut, that you've got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
I think this week teaches you more than last week did at Heritage.
Absolutely does.
And I think that each event you play in from here on out is going to teach you more and more than you learned the previous week. So I'm impressed with that. I'm cautious that, and I know this isn't true, but it's just me being a pessimist. I'm cautious of the fact that you might get too overzealous going into Q school. And I'm hoping
I don't know what overzealous.
a bit too confident.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm going
complacent.
Yep, bit too complacent, understanding that the job, you might be thinking that the job's already done before you even walk out there. I know that's not true, but as a pessimist, I'm always going to think it. And I know Raptor's listening and he's probably going to be pulling the reins in nice and tight.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And Luke will do the same thing.
We've got a set in plan and it's going in with you know what it is? You know what I reckon it is? It might come off a little different, but it's more or less we've got a clear cut plan of what we actually need to do now, rather than going in last year going, we'll see.
Well, here's the thing, and Luke said it in his episode.
Sorry, and now it's like I actually know what it takes now. I know what it needs to be done.
Yeah.
I need to obviously go do it. Job's not done.
No.
I need to go do it. And it's not a walk in the park. It's you've got to play some fucking good golf against guys that are trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Or get onto a point to make a living.
Yeah.
And I'm there to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But now it's like now I just understand more. So now of course the confidence level is a lot higher than it was last year because I'm a better golfer now. I know that. But it's also, I have now an understanding of what it takes.
Yes.
So now it's like, I understand what it means.
And Luke mentioned that in his episode 52, about the familiar feeling, I'm going to say, because I can't say that word properly at this time of
Mate,
night.
I can't spell it, let alone say it.
Correct. So the familiar feelings you're going to have about going to a place like Moona Links for a second time in that event.
Correct.
He said it, the quote was, it's harder to keep your tool card the first time around than it is the second. right?
And he said Q School's even harder.
Because everything's so unfamiliar.
Correct.
Right? So Q School, now that you've been there, you've had a couple of events to boost, not the ego, but the confidence. Right? To boost the golf game, learn a few things, take some new experiences and some, uncomfortable situations that you've been in, probably not for a while. I think you're going to be super confident going into Q School, but I also know that you've got a great group around you, myself included, that are going to pull the reins in nice and tight. Between Raptor, Luke, your dad, other guys at the golf club, other players on tour, your mates, right? That are just going to be like, hey, there's a job to do here. We all know that there's a job to do. And I think that I'm not the only one when I say this, that I feel like that as much as there is a job to do, it's a pretty straightforward job. It should be a pretty straightforward job this time around, right? That's not being too confident or too cocky. I'm just like, I think that we're all so aware that it can be done.
Yeah, let's get it done now.
Yeah,
let's get it done. Last year, as much as I had the game last year, I know I did. I made a couple of mistakes, and we already know about them. I've mentioned them before.
I even think, Joel, this time around,
but now
I think you're a much better golfer.
I think I am too.
This time around than you were last year.
In very many different parts of the game.
You'll hear about Q School, ladies and gents, in the next couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure in a bit of depth.
Hopefully some many positives, which will be awesome.
Absolutely.
So we'll go out there and give it a go.
But I think, Jolly, that's probably the best spot to leave it, to be perfectly honest. You'll hear plenty more about Q School, like I said. And yeah, I suppose for this week, ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning in.
It was a longer one. But
a bit of a longer one. We apologise for that. But
plenty to cover.
Absolutely. And we hope that you've stuck it through. And if you have, head down into the comments. Let us know that you've stuck it through. Maybe drop a like on the episode or a follow, whatever it might be.
I think next week we might go back to something like more of a topic that doesn't involve us directly again. I think next week we don't cover, like this week we've got a pretty clean week.
Yeah,
in terms of
the last week with the pumping up of the events and the golf day and Barnbougle and stuff, and
everything that was going on.
This week covering it, we've approached it similar to a major event, right? That we've done in the
there
past.
Was some seriously significant shit that's gone on.
Correct.
In the past 2 weeks.
I hope you, ladies and gentlemen listening, can appreciate just how big of a week the last two have been for us. We've had a lot on, as last week's episode was, properly titled.
Yeah.
And yeah, this week was always going to be just a catch up of everything because, as much as I've seen Joel over the weekend and whatever else, I feel like I've barely spoken to him. So
that's true, actually.
Yeah, I feel like
that is so true. That's such a good way to put it.
This is the first time you and I have really had a chance to sit down
and properly
talk about Barnbougle, especially.
That's one thing we actually have not spoke about.
Nah. So unfortunately for you guys, it's meant that we've dragged out to nearly an hour 40. So
you can do it.
But no, as I said, thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gents. Be sure to head over to our Instagram, our TikTok, like and subscribe the video, like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Here, give us a 5-star review. I'm getting really slurry in my words. I'm getting tired. Other than that, hit them very, very well. We will see you all next week. Cheers. Have a good one.